soon for these beautiful paintings. We are very honored to have them here. And I would like to thank Sarah McKeithen. She will be recording Sue's talk. She also designs the catalog that we do for our exhibits and the social media and many other things. And I would like to thank Susan Riley. She's not here this afternoon. She's having a family reunion. But she is a photographer who, for our opening receptions, does an amazing job with her photos. And would like to thank all the artists who support the gallery and my amazing family. And Sarah can explain probably better than I can. We talked about this earlier. We do have a painting by Soon that we are giving away. And you can sign here, sign up here at the gallery. But Sarah created a QR code. You can also sign through Instagram. And
yeah, if you scan the QR code, it just goes straight to our Instagram page, and there's a post there with a picture of that painting, and there's just some short instructions on there. If you just like the post and tag a couple people, it'll give you a second entry, so your name will be in twice. Oh, yes.
And so without further ado,
Can I enter too? Can I
Yes,
enter
you
too?
can.
Okay, I'm gonna get my painting back.
We're very privileged to have you here,
Oh,
Sarah,
you're so
and just
sweet.
Thank you for the beautiful work.
Thank you.
So we will
So-
get started in
So now I'm talking. Okay. I don't know. I was thinking about what am I going to talking about for this whole thing. It's like out of nothing. It's like talk, and I thought, okay, lots of time when I go out teach, a lot of time people ask me. I think so. Even here, I heard so many people say, "How can you bring out so strong, the saturated kind of vibrant painting with the watercolor?" And I usually kind of tell them, "It's out of a tube. It's everything is there." But that's kind of true. It's kind of I use the pigments out of a tube, but it doesn't mean that I'm using that thick pigment out of a tube, because usually what I do is I layer. Because I think it's kind of making the color stronger and deeper, and I think it's just kind of that vibrant color is to make layering it. Just kind of one kind of a color you apply it. Usually, it's just kind of white is coming out too much, so it's not going to give you the depth. And I like somehow, I think it's just kind of that's nature. I like deep color painting, and I like to kind of make everything just go darker, and I have to just sometimes bring myself out from the just getting darker and darker. I'm like, oh my God, my paint is getting too dark, so I have to take myself out. And usually when I make painting darker is when I'm using my yellow, because the yellow is the what makes the foundation deep to make your painting deeper, and it's good. I think that one is kind of, for me, is when I paint oil, and I think that's kind of same thing too. So lots of time we just put some ground on it, like burnt sienna or sometimes yellow, just kind of get rid of it, all the white. I think it's just kind of, I'm going to talk about this because I use yellow a lot. So one of my friends, and she introduced me, because she knows me that I use yellow a lot, and she said, when I sign soon Y. Actually young, but it said Y. And she said, my middle name is Yellow. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of so good, because I use yellow a lot. And I said, she thought it's kind of my middle name is Yellow. So I thought, oh, wow, I'm gonna say this one everywhere I go. So I went there other places, and I said, my friend introduced me as my middle name is Yellow. And the lady sitting right in front of me, she said, weren't you offended? And I'm like, why should I offend it that I'm using yellow? And it just dawned on me, she thought I was yellow because I'm Asian. Can you see? So, and I thought, oh my God, this is not it. But it's the funny thing is, at the time, it's until then, I usually, when I teach it, I say, get rid of that white. I don't like to see white in your painting. And it's like, usually I want them to get rid of that white, because when you have lots of white, you cannot push your color deep enough. Can you see? There's lots of white. You have to kind of go together with the white. So I usually, my idea is like, get rid of that white. And watercolor people, we want to save that white. I don't know why. We just wanting to save that white. And usually, if I want to save that white, I usually have a kind of masking fluid with frisket on it. So I don't care. You can just kind of get rid of that white. And we just kind of, a lot of time, people are just kind of afraid to get rid of that white. So it leaves some white here and there. Get rid of that white. So I come up with another joke. It doesn't mean to get rid of that white. It doesn't mean Caucasian, okay? Just get rid of the white paper, not the Caucasian. But I just kind of say something funny because I'm not going to say this one because I'm not a racist. If people think, oh, she's racist. And I'm like, I have to say I'm not a racist. But that's how much I use yellow. Because if you want to make a deeper and grounded painting, yellow is the key. Because unless my painting consists with kind of purple, bright purple, or pink, or something kind of white in it. But still, if you look at that garlic painting, that has lots of yellow in it. It doesn't look like yellow in it, but the yellow in it, the body itself has lots of yellow in it. If I don't have yellow, everything looks too whitish. Can you see? And something that I want to deepen the color, I cannot do it without yellow. So it doesn't mean, so it's kind of, I use yellow a lot, kind of occasionally I just kind of, because if I use something kind of clean blue or kind of something nice, kind of pink or kind of lavender or something, then I would not use it. But usually, most of the time, I wanted to put very light yellow to begin with. Then usually, like if I wanted to save the white, I frisket it. And you see, and usually it's kind of so everything, I think that's when I kind of unify the color with the yellow underneath. And if I put blue on it, red on it, whatever the color that I put it on, underneath the yellow grounds it everything together. You see, so I don't have to worry about, and I don't like to have my, the elements play separately. Can you see? I want things to go together. Anyways, I usually don't play with I usually don't have composition with like lots of items. I just usually have kind of big one item and little knick-knack, just kind of play with it. So I don't have to worry about the kind of that it's not unifying too much, but that's the idea, using yellow to bring out everything, unifying it. So when I'm painting, lots of time, when I go teach, usually I teach a lot of crystal painting, and they are ready. And I usually kind of make them bring out the frisket and drawing and everything, right? And they come here to, they come to class, they're ready to fight about painting, right? And I'm like, why are you trying to fight? They're just kind of ready, but I just can make them, I have to make them loosen up. Can you see? I don't paint from the beginning like this. I just let go of it. Just make them just spread around, color here and there. Background, if I want to make black, I don't care. You can put whatever the color you want to put it, I don't care. Slowly, in the beginning, I have yellow all over the place, maybe red and blue, and I start to bring out my painting. It's kind of like, almost like pyramid. Can you see? I think it's just I call it. In the beginning, I go wash, and it's kind of section glaze or whatever that is, and finalizing it with a very detail. So that's the time, actually, I spend a lot of time finalizing it. You see, so it's kind of, when I go to demonstration, I cannot sit there for an hour doing this little thing. Can you see, everybody's going to go to sleep. So usually, when I go there, and I usually kind of try to do the middle of it, and they don't see what I do when I turn around, go home, and do the detail. If you see detail, that means my brush stroke is went there. I don't do to make things work. I go through every brush stroke with every brush. And see, it doesn't mean it's not tedious. It is tedious. But sometimes, I don't think I can do this painting. I don't think I can do it. I have kind of a negative thinking. but I think I can do it. And whatever the reason I start doing it, the process start to coming out. And after I finish it, I'm like, oh my God, actually I did it. That one is like, oh my God, I did it. And I don't want to look at it anymore. And it's like, it was so much work, I have to do it. So sometimes it is very tedious and it is very hard. I will not say that's easy, but that agony that I enjoy, I don't know why. It's just, it's just kind of after I finish the painting, I have that, oh my God, I did it. That, I think it's an accomplishment or something that I did it actually. It gave me a good feeling. I think that's almost addictive. So that's too hard. This is too much. I don't think I wanted to do it, but I think I wanted to do it. Can you see? So sometimes I pick something almost like, I don't think I can do it. It's like, I think before I would think like, I don't think I can do it. But that's the one I will choose to do it. It's just funny because like that's almost like addictive. And it's like, I want to go easier. Like maybe I can just go flower painting or something. I could do it, but that's just come too easy. If it just comes too easy for me, it's not worth it. I have to suffer, okay? So that's how I like it. So that's how I my process goes along with it. And lots of time, what people see sitting here doing this, it's not even half of it. You see it? Can you see? After that process, turn around, sitting there, and doing the detail is what is I need focus. Can you see? I have to put my focus in it to make things work. And I think I remember half of it because I just do things like a pyramid like this. At some point, I think it's half of them looks decent. It looks good. Actually, I'm like, oh, I think I painted loose painting. I think this is pretty good. But that's not me. I could finish at that point, but that's not me. I just cannot finish that point. I have to go until I suffer. I don't know. That's what makes me feel satisfactory, that feeling that I have. So everybody's different, but that's me, to what I do. But sometimes you don't have to, lots of times like, oh, do I have to do it? I'm like, no, everybody's different. When I see it, everybody paints different way, and I do it my way. And sometimes people say, I think my painting is the same as everybody else. But people say, I see your painting is different. I'm like, well, what's different? It looks the same. Like, look at this painting, it's all the same. They did a beautiful job, and I think I did decent to it. I think it's the same. But I think what people say is, I think what people see, my painting is my agony. I think that's what it is, because I just cannot skip the things. Like I could have just instead of 2, and I could just make it 1, I couldn't do it. I have to go through 2. I wanted to see the 2. And so sometimes when I teach people saying, oh, just you do it. How come you say everything is okay, so don't do it? And it's like, you do it. Why you tell me just skip it? And I'm like, if you can do it, you can do it. But if you cannot do it, you don't have to do it. Can you see? Lots of the time, I put myself through that hard position. And some point when I'm painting, and it's I did this much, and it's like, I have to finish this one all the way because I did some point, that detail this much. But sometimes when I was going through a half of them, I'm like, oh, why am I doing this? And I just I'm not charging my painting enough. I'm just thinking, why am I studying what I do? But it's that's what, but my thought process goes back and forth to back. It just rolls. But some point when I'm sitting right in front of the painting with the brush and it's palette right next to me, eventually that painting finishes. I don't know why. And it's after I finished it, and that's when I just like, okay, I did it. And it's a good feeling that I have. So that's me. But lots of the time, everybody's different. When I teach, some people wanted to paint just like me. But people cannot go through my emotion just like they can go through my emotion. Can you see? It's not the same thing. they have to find their own emotion, what they can do with their own painting. And I think that that's what I try to do. And a lot of time, people struggle with that detail. I'm like, you don't have to do it. But I think, you do it, I do it. It doesn't mean that you have to do it. Can you see? If you do it, it's just gonna be soon. It's not you, can you see? So lots of the time when I paint and I teach, I kind of teach them individual kind of a way. So you do it your own way and I do it my way. And I chose hard way, but this hard way that I chose, I was very insecure about what I do. And I think if you go to 4 years college, and you're going to be very insecure about your detail painting because they try to get off from that realistic painting. And I think I struggled with it a lot when I was in school because I like detail painting. And when I look at other one, okay, but it's like detail painting is so what I like. And I almost gave up on my painting because the realistic painting is what people say was like did it 1,000 years, kind of thousands of years. And I just kind of realized that realistic painting, people did it for thousands of years because it is steady. Can you see? It never dies. The realistic painting, it never dies. But there's a fad goes, I see the kind of fad, sometimes abstract and what do you call it, some kind of a thing. It's Dadaism come and go, come and go. Everything comes and go and comes and go and comes and go. But realistic painting is always there. And I thought, it's not bad at all that what I do, what I wanted to do is not bad at all. And I started getting my own, I have to kind of pet myself. It's okay. Do your realistic painting. It's okay, it's okay. And there's a lot of people who paint realistic painting. I really like it. Can you see? And I thought, okay, I am going to do what I wanted to do. And I gave myself permission. I'm going to do whatever I wanted to paint, what I like to paint. Can you see? That's why even if this is so hard, I can deal with it because I love it. You see, that realistic painting. Because if I don't like it, I cannot go through that agony. It's sometimes like, oh my God, why am I doing this? It's so many noise going on in my brain. If I don't like it, I will just kind of put my hands off. But I love it. Can you see? So something you really love it doesn't have to be realistic painting or it doesn't have to be something you like. Can you see? Just go crazy over. And I think that's what I wanted to tell everybody. It doesn't have to be something one. You have to find what you like. And I think that one, I think people are born with it because I like the realistic painting even when I was young because I am not, okay, to born with it, I will tell about my nephew's story. I took him to, my niece and nephew, I took him to Kimber Museum. And he likes all those realistic painting and European painting at Kimber, but he does not like Matisse nor Picasso. He thought that's not a painting. And I said, that's not a good painting. So I said, oh, really? So we just kind of look around as we are talking, and it's the next one, I took them to the Modern Art Museum. And he thought, oh, they're just playing. He was only 6 years old, and he said, this is not art. This one is his play. And you see, it was like he didn't think that was art. For him, it's already knows what he likes. He likes detail. But the sad thing is, kind of until then, because he likes to draw, I still have his painting when he did. And when he saw my painting, he gave up on his painting because he didn't think he can do it because, yeah, that's what it was. He didn't, so I took him to Kimber, that's why he likes painting, but so I took him to Modern Art Museum. He said, this is not art, auntie, this is not good, it's just play. And I told him, do you know how much that kind of a painting costs? And he said, how much? It's millions of dollars. That's what I told him, right? And he got so excited. When we go home, he wants to paint. So, it's interesting because when he saw realistic painting and my painting, he doesn't want to paint because he just kind of didn't think it's going to make it, right? He just kind of lost that confidence. But when he went to a modern art museum, that kind of painting, I can do it. So I came home and I gave him the canvas, 36 by 36, and it's an apron and brush, and it's kind of oil paint. I still have that painting. And I even took a picture while they were painting. And my niece one was kind of a little bit kind of scary, so I got rid of that one, but I kept his one. But I thought that was very interesting because when he saw realistic painting and he really liked realistic painting, he couldn't do it, so he gave up on it. But when he went to a modern art museum, they gave him that boost, his confidence. He can do it too. Isn't that irony? But he still likes realistic painting, like when he was 6 years old. Can you see? I was like that. I only like the realistic painting. If there's kind of one skinny little line going on a canvas, that's just a line. I don't think that's a painting. I didn't know how to see it. Can you see? I think that's still in me. I am like 66 years old and I still like realistic painting. And I'm thinking, oh, if I wanted to paint something loose, when my hands start shaking, maybe I'm going to do it that way. Then I will learn to love it, I think. But it's still now, I think it's the people are what they like and what they paint and what they buy is sometimes it's different. Can you see? I like to paint something very realistic, but I'm not kind of inclined to buy realistic painting. I'm inclined to go more abstract. Isn't that crazy? It's just funny. What people just kind of think what I do is different. What I wear, what I paint, the color is totally different. Because I think it's our subconscious. We just don't know who you are. I think it's what's in it. And I think it's only one thing that I can do is I will just kind of true to myself what I love it. I think that's all I can do. I try to not to hide myself, and I will just kind of do my best to make my thing work, whatever that makes me happy. And I think because I can suffer because I love it. I think if somebody told me to do something else, I cannot do it that much. But this one, I love it, and I can do it. But I think I will just kind of recommend everybody, do what you love all the way. And another thing is, halfway is not going to be enough. 100% is not going to be enough. You got to do it 150 and 200%. Can you see? You got to do it because turn around, everybody paints. I think it's around. Oh, you paint too. Oh, you paint too. I wonder why my painting is not selling. Everybody paints, right? That's what it is. So when you do it 100%, everybody does it. Can you see? 150%, some people does it. If you want to stand out, you got to push yourself more than 150 and 200%. Can you see? That's why you have to get crazy. I wonder why it's kind of the people. That's why people who paints drinks because we get so frustrated, okay, and become an alcoholic. Because we get frustrated, but we have to channel ourselves, that energy, the frustrating energy to something good. And you see something painting. And somehow that energy will show through your painting. Can you see? I kind of feel like I'm like boom, boom, boom. I don't know. Because I think that where we are right now here, we have energy here. Can you see? Because of kind of that scientifically, it's kind of all those kind of atoms just kind of bouncing around all over the place. That's what what's happening. We have to feel that energy. Can you see? When you're painting, you don't feel that energy, you're going to be like this. But when you feel it and you get excited, that frustration is part of the energy. Do you know that anger is energy? Can you see? Whatever that, it's just kind of na, it's just too good, okay? That one is not going to work. You've got to have some kind of a stronger energy when you are painting. And when you have your brush, and kind of that energy is kind of what we think here. From here to here is the longest distance. And you see here to here. And you have to have that strong, the frustration, anger, or maybe happiness, that might be okay, to maybe they're too happy. Has to come through your heart, come through your brush. Can you see? And lots of the time, people ask me, how long do I have to paint to be like a good or something? But I think it's well, somebody told me this one. I thought, oh, that's just very good. How many years doesn't count. What I heard is how many brush stroke miles. You see? How many hold, how many, how long, how many hours you hold your brush to paint with. Can you see? That mile is the what counts. The year doesn't count. Can you see? So don't go to sleep. And you wasted all your time before. Don't go to sleep and start painting. I do that all the time. But I have that kind of not good habit because I don't. A lot of time people ask me, do you paint every day? I wish I don't. Because before when people said like a writer's block, I thought they were lying. How you just write? How can you? What's a writer's block? Because like you just kind of write. And we have painter's block too. Do you know that we have a painter's block? Sometimes I want to paint so bad, but I couldn't paint. I just cannot do it. I don't know why. And I have to figure out what I wanted to do to make myself go into the painting. That finally, sometime when finally get into it, I'm afraid to even wash my hair because I'm going to get out of that mood. That happened a lot when I was writing a book. I have a year to write a book, right? And I was painting really good. Okay. And I didn't want to get out of my jammy or something. And if I do something new, I feel like that energy is going to go out and it's not going to come back because I need to work. But sometimes I just couldn't do it. And I get grouchy and I get angry and I get depressed. And I just I don't know what to do with myself. Can you see that kind of anxiety is kind of start coming up? But sometimes I think it's everybody has a different way of getting rid of that anxiety. Some people go with retail therapy. They go to retail therapy, and some people eat, and some people cannot do a lot of other things. But for me, I go out working on the dirt. I work on my yard, cut my tree, and it's kind of digging out my dirt, and then move things. I don't know, that give me kind of organize my backyard somehow. It's kind of calm me down. I don't know, this kind of dirt make me calm me down. And sometimes upside down the closet, sometimes that works too. But it's, so I try so many different ways to put myself into that position. And now I'm kind of getting old and I don't want to work, okay? So these days, if I don't want to work, okay. I think I can just kind of go by. Can you see? But sometimes I wanted to work. I wanted to have that feeling all the time, but not all the time it coming out. And I think, but when I force myself to do it, I just sit there looking at it. I do this. I do this. And you see, it's just wasting my time. I have to have some kind of that my eagerness. I wanted to work kind of that, so when I think it's what it is, that focus. Can you see? That focus is kind of be there. But sometimes I just sit there, but my focus is not there. I'm just kind of lingering around. Can you see? So I don't know. It's kind of probably a lot of people, you are here kind of related to what I said. But that's what I do too. I think it's what we do, what I hear. When I go there, sometimes I hear about what everybody talk about. It's the same thing. What I go through, what you guys go through, exactly same. It's nothing different. But who suffers the most? That anybody wants to kind of talk about suffering, but it's just happy suffering. I don't know, that's kind of funny, irony kind of word, but the suffering is actually very satisfactory because I'm not doing a lot of physical work. Can you see? I'm testing my patience, my kind of inner strength. I think that's what it is. And I think it's when I just keep going. But I think another thing that I want to talk about when I'm doing that detailed work is when people painting taught me so many kind of little things, Because before, when people do yoga, I didn't understand what they were doing. I thought they were wasting their time, sitting there doing nothing or something, right? But painting is parts of yoga. Can you see? Just sitting there, kind of big painting, it doesn't work. But it's when I do detail painting, I am out of my world because I just don't know where time goes. It just kind of, time flies. And I'm like, oh my God, I finished about this much and time just flies. Can you see? So that's kind of, for me, part of that. I think that's why maybe it's just agony, but I do it because sometimes just I'm in it. I think it's what they call Zen, whatever they call it. So now I know what they are doing, sitting there. But at least I make something, right? Just they're just doing nothing. It's just time passes. I made something. Was it time? Was it time?
You have a few more minutes.
Okay, keep going. Okay. So now that's my idea of kind of painting. That's my how that's my life. And it's I think people who paint are the happiest people because you just have a brush or pencil and there's a friend, because we don't need anybody else. We just need just paint and process, and that's what we can. Can you see? So if you have any kind of a question or something, I can actually answer. Okay? Yes.
I'm just curious. Do you do one at a time, or do you have several of them?
I usually have several of them go back and forth because at home I never use a kind of watercolor. I never use a hair dryer or anything. I just kind of wash it. Usually I just wash process going on and I wash it. I put it on the floor. And another one, I just kind of do it for the resin and I put it on the floor. So several of them is kind of going, and when I after kind of some point, one of them, because sometimes I have 2, 3 of them, I have to get into the detail. But sometimes I don't feel like it, I just don't do it. But at one point, if I start to keep going. So when I do detail, I don't do several of them. I finish one until then. So I just kind of do it, and this next one, it will come. So it's just kind of, it's not like that I know exactly what my next step is, because I have to think. I did this one, okay, what kind of a color that do I want to do it? And whatever that I did is kind of what am I going to make things to work, can you see? So I have to think about which one I wanted to, what kind of a process I wanted to do it. So it's not like everything is kind of same. Sometimes I might use a yellow, sometimes I might use maybe blue, sometimes I might use yellow, it's a red. So they're kind of different. So the process might be different, but it's sometimes that when I use the big one, I just kind of put it aside and I just kind of let it dry. But when I go to workshop, we just have go, go, go. Can you see? And if we use the hair dry or something. It's just so funny because when I'm at home, I never finish one painting within 3 days. Usually I never do. But when I go to workshop, we try to finish 2 paintings in 3 days. But we are sitting there because I've been doing that process many times. I know exactly what's going to be next. But at home, I have to think about it. That's when I go out digging out dirt, pulling the wood, and also coming inside, and I do more. But when I go to when we go to workshop, I know the process already did it. Can you see? So I say, go this one, go this one. If I know it, the process can be very fast. But when I finish, when I try to do one painting, first one, then it's kind of a fresh one coming out. I have to put my hands on the painting. Is sometimes thinking is more. Detail time is not, but it's that process going on, layering colors and section by section, that kind of thing. I have to think a lot because I don't know what color it's gonna. I have to think about what kind of a color that I want to do for the next or something. So, okay.
This painting over here, water, looks very impressionistic to me.
Yeah.
Was that done in an impressionistic method, or was that a realistic method that you used?
It's a realistic, actually it's a realistic method. That's just kind of a reflection of the tree, that kind of, that, what do you call, ripples, can you see? So impressionistic painting, usually they use a dot, can you see? They use a dot. That they incorporate with the kind of lots of dot. But this one I use more like line. Can you see? So it's more realistic than actually impressionistic. But the painting itself is kind of more calm, so it's kind of impressionistic, kind of a feel to it. But it's a process, the same thing, just kind of realistic. Yes.
So full disclosure, I'm a writer. So
Yes.
I aspire to do what you do with words. But I've been really compelled by what you've been saying about suffering.
Yes.
So as a writer, Dostoevsky, Sylvia Plath, Nietzsche, whatever, like, these folks were able to tap into something
Yes.
and give birth to beauty.
Yes.
So I wonder if you could say one or two words more about how suffering or agony does that for the artist or for the creator, embracing suffering and agony. Because it sounds like that's what you might be doing a little bit. Yeah.
That's exactly right. But I think, even writer, I think it's just all those kind of artists, writers or artists, or even this kind of people who create. If you're just kind of mundane, you don't have nothing coming out of your, I think it's brain. But when you're digging into it, whatever that is, can you see? But I think as a human being, when you're digging into it, nothing pretty will come out. Nothing pretty will come out, can you see? But it's kind of digging into it, it's kind of when you get in, and what you have to channel that process to what you wanted to bring it out. If you stay there, you're going to be miserable, can you see? I just kind of jokingly said, people who paint watercolors are happy. We are so happy. But people who paint oil are miserable. They do. Lots of the time they are miserable and they look grouchy and mean and ugly and angry and all those stuff. I figured it out why. I know why. Because when you go to college or something, and it's college and it's like you major in fine art, you are not going to paint watercolor, right? You are going to do something. Okay, I'm going to do paint, so you're going to do oil painting. And they wanted to make themselves out for their name, right? It's not coming out, and they're miserable because they paint, but it doesn't coming out. It's like their name is not, their painting is beautiful, but it's nobody cares. But so that's why they are miserable. They are drinking themselves to death, right? But watercolor people, oh, I retired and I have nothing to do, and I'm okay. So I have enough money to support myself and family. As my husband working, okay. I'm going to paint watercolor, right? What's going to be easier? So when we paint, we don't care, okay? We are just so happy. We just think about, like, we just go to their workshop and we eat, drink, and whatever. That's what we do. So we are happy. Can you see? Because we don't care about success. I just want to make pretty painting. Can you see? It's kind of decent painting. But we don't suffer enough because we don't have kind of, about our age, after retire, we don't want to suffer anymore, so we just are happy. But oil painting people, they graduate college and they wanted to make themselves their name for it. It's not coming out. Oh my God, they're miserable. So, paint watercolor. I think that's what I said, but I wanted to say this one. I think it's because I think about this one a lot because there was a guy who's painter, kind of oil painter. He's miserable. He's just kind of grouchy all the time. And he paints beautiful painting. But when he take it to a gallery, they will not take it as a consignment kind of painting. They're not going to do it. So he was frustrated. And it's like, so what they do, they get frustrated, they get mad, they go to bar, or they drink. And after they drink and they got drunk, what they do? They fight, right? So he got drunk and somehow he just kind of fighting with some guy and it's accidentally, he killed him, okay? He murdered him and he was like, oh my God. But usually people who paint are the very nice people. We have a soft heart and we are just kind of so nice. It's true. People who paint are very nice. The heart is kind of there. We don't have any bad seed in our kind of heart. And he was horrified. So, but he doesn't want to go to jail, right? So he wanted to hide the blood and kind of his body. So what he did was he wanted to cut his body and just throw it away. So before he does it, what he wants to do, he wanted to drain his blood out, so it's not going to be dripping all over the place. So when you have a dry blood, what's the color like? Alizarin crimson. Okay, it's not brown. It's like alizarin crimson, right? And he needs to get rid of that blood after that. He got rid of the pain body, and I thought, I think I'm going to. He needs paint, and he look at it. It's kind of red, alizarin crimson. I think maybe I'm going to use the paint. So he painted with this blood, okay? And it was kind of a decent, just like before, right? So he took it to gallery, and they loved it. So he came home, and he painted so many of them, and he took it there, and they loved it. Can you see? So he was consigned a lot of painting, and everybody, he loves it. So he started painting with that blood. And it's at one point, he used up all that blood, right? I think I need more blood. He killed another person, right? So that became a... So now he makes a lot of money, and now he even got a girlfriend, long-distance girlfriend, okay? And he was so happy. But now he has his girlfriend. He doesn't want to kill person anymore. He wants to become a good person again, right? So he doesn't want to kill. So he started painting with his old painting again, and he took it to gallery. They don't want it. They don't want it. And it's like, for him, he doesn't understand why they don't want this painting, but other one they want, but they don't want it. So he just kind of, he has a girlfriend, long distance. So he just kind of tried to paint with this way. He wants to be a good person with a girlfriend. So he just kind of painted, and he thought, but he wasn't getting any money. So he started losing all the money. But his girlfriend said he wants to visit him. And he needs money, right? He wants to kind of buy some flower, and it's kind of good stuff, and kind of get candlelight dinner or something. So he doesn't have any money. So he finally decided one last the motor that he's gonna do it. So he's gonna use the blood to paint. So that's what he did. So he took it to gallery, and they loved it, right? He just kind of doesn't understand this. He come home, and he has money, and he just kind of set that kind of candlelight dinner, and he was waiting for his girlfriend, and she never showed up. The last person he killed was his girlfriend. Came to city. Okay, so think about this one. Why people? I didn't make up the story. I didn't tell anybody. This one was from. Do you remember the Twilight Zone? How come you guys never seen it? I saw twice. I saw this one in Korea, and I saw this one in the United States. And now I kind of think about that. Think about this one. Why this painting, he painted exactly same thing with the paint, but that one didn't sell. But when he used the blood, it sold. Why? I think this person, with that artist who paint with the blood, his psyche was cuckoo all over the place. Can you see? I don't think that person can be right about using blood. Can you see? That might have something to do with that energy putting into the canvas. Can you see? But when he paints with a pigment, can you see this regular oil pigment, he didn't have that cuckoo feeling because he seems so normal. Can you see? I think that's why people didn't feel it. But when he used the blood, he was all over the place. I think that was the energy that people, I think, felt it. That's what I felt. So when I'm trying to paint, I don't try to make painting pretty. I try to go cuckoo. I try to go cuckoo to make painting. So I always kind of tell people, don't step back when you're painting. You always go forward, because a lot of time watercolor people, because we're afraid we're gonna lose our white, kind of white. Who needs white anyway? So
But you sure save a lot of white.
I use it. So some things, most flower that was white flower, I have to have white, right? But if you look at that, all those turquoise, there's not that much white in it. Little bit lighter, but it's not pure white. Because lots of the time we wanted to save our pure white, not pure white. Can you see? Little bit of a white sparkle. If there's a lots of them coming back in, it's problem. I'm not a racist. Okay. It's a problem. It's true. But yellow glows. Can you see? I use a lot of yellow because I want to have a deeper. But if you look at the sunset or sunrise, can you see? The yellow and red glows against the blue or purple. Can you see? It glows. If that is white, it's not going to glow. You see? White sparkle, yellow glows. You see? So that's how it goes. So so I did. It doesn't mean that you go home and kill somebody, okay? Just don't do it. But I wanted to say this one because that's the energy. Kind of, you don't want it to kind of step back. Can you see? You can always make something out of it. Can you? But you see, if you just kind of coming back, like step back, it's nothing's going to come out of it. Can you see? You just keep going further and further. And some point, And this funny thing is, sometimes I didn't think this is kind of good painting. Is I just kind of put it back later, and it kind of was 4 or 5 years later. I'm like, oh my God, this painting is actually decent. It's pretty good. Can you see? I didn't think it was good, but it's good because my eyes change. My idea of the painting, what's good or bad, what I like, keep changing. It never stays still the same. Can you see? It's keep changing. So I just kind of go follow my instinct, and it's the only one thing I will not do is I will not step back. I will just kind of keep going forward. So it's never kind of, if you just kind of stop, that's it. But if you keep going, something will come out of it. You see? So I want you to just kind of keep going and keep painting and enjoy your life just like a painting, and like I do too. Is it enough? Yes?
Okay, so you must have had a lot of energy going on when you did this painting right here of the trees.
Yeah. That painting. Okay. I love that. That was Canada, actually. I have that one. And that little bit of leaves kind of left on the shaded area, and even it's kind of looking at it, it was like so stunning. Can you see the light hits it? I'm like, oh my God, it's so pretty. I gotta take a picture, right? I took this picture, I think it's about 10 years ago or something. And I know I wanted to paint this one, but it's like that one is kind of a little tight, but it's kind of loose, kind of feels to it. And I was kind of thinking about, okay, I don't want to paint that, all those leaves. Okay, I don't want to how can I make this one easier to paint, right? I was thinking, and it's like I just kind of pushed it aside for a long time. And I think I entered because I usually enter TWS. So she's the president of the Texas Watercolor Society, and was it Thomas Shooter? I don't know. Somebody was judging the show, and I usually never paint for the judges. Can you see? But I know he's very something. I kind of see something. I thought, okay, I'm not going to enter something tight like what I usually paint. I decide I'm going to paint that one. So I paint for the Texas Watercolor Society, and my intention was to go a little looser. But it's actually tighter painting, but its painting itself, it looks looser. Can you see? Underneath, it has a lot of yellow on it. And I frisked a whole bunch of them, and then after that, I just kept some yellow on it. That's it. So it was actually kind of quite faster painting than actually than a lot of other one, because of the process wasn't that much to go through. You see? So I frisked it, and yellow first, blue, and I think I have to make the color ready. So if you look at it, that kind of lighter area is kind of, in order to make that yellow stand out, I have to cover everything, everywhere. Can you see? So yellow can stand out. Otherwise, yellow is not going to stand out against the white or something. So I definitely wanted to paint this. I got an award with that thing. So I thought, I got it. Like it's kind of, it was so funny. But that was usually I don't paint that way. But it's I love that yellow sparkling. Can you see? I wanted to paint one day, and finally I painted when I wanted to enter the Texas Watercolor Society. So they hit the mark. So that's what I did.
Any other questions?
Question?
Thank you.
Thank you. Just don't kill anybody, okay?